Hey, babe,
Hmm.
what are you doing for March Madness? What are your brackets?
What do you mean?
Your teams. You got it all picked out?
I have no idea what you're talking about. You mean like March Madness? Like everything happening in the garden right now? Like all the seeds starting, getting ready for the summer gardening season. April's coming, last frost is on its way. All the projects I've been doing, all the mulching, all that madness? Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
Hey everybody, I'm Bree and welcome back. This is actually Nate behind the camera here today. We're having a lot of fun, as you will see throughout the video. And today we're just gonna go into how busy of a month it's been for us. You might be able to relate. I'm gonna show you what I've been working on to get ready for the peak growing season, which is really just around the corner. That last frost date is nipping at our heels here in the Piedmont, North Carolina, and show you what's growing right now in March in the garden, and then some big projects we've been working on, including at the very end, we're going to show you the biggest, most expensive, most difficult, hardest, most challenging, all of that project we've ever done as an investment into the garden. And it's exciting. Right now, we're just still recovering from it. So stay tuned to see more about that project. But first, since we're here, I want to show you what I have indoors getting ready. That's going to be planted out, like I said, around mid-April, end of April for that last frost date here. So on this shelf, don't come at me for the egg cartons. It's a good strategy sometimes. I have more pepper plants that I ran out of room for, but they're doing fine. These are cayenne peppers. This is so exciting. Our sweet potato starts and slips. So this is my favorite way to start sweet potatoes. All but one of these are ones we grew last year that I saved to then propagate again for this year. So returning and renewing that same delicious sweet potato we enjoyed. This is interesting. There's like salt coming off of it. Anyway, they're doing really well in this sunny window. You gotta start these early. They take a while to put these shoots off and get slips. Then you need to give time for the slips to root themselves. So I'd say 2 to 3 months in advance of when you want to plant sweet potatoes. And then sweet potatoes need a long time as well. So planning ahead as always in the garden, but these are exciting. Those are going to get cut off soon and start getting rooted, and then they'll go in the ground in June. I have some herb starts here, peppermint and lemon balm. I don't need a lot of that, but I wanted to do some herb seeds and some basil seeds. I could not wait to get started outside, so I just kept planting. And then down in the main seed starting shelf under here, this is all the good stuff. This is all the typical things that you're going to start indoors, most likely before a summer garden season. Sadie, do you want to say hi? You're going to help? Yes, Sadie loves tomatoes. So we have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 varieties of tomatoes and tomatillos coming up. Super happy, growing fast. I feel like I got the timing right of those. Yes, there's some little gnats. It's fine. We have some herb seeds here in this as well, and chamomile. And then these are all different varieties of peppers, 3 more varieties of peppers. And I have more videos all about starting the peppers and starting seeds. Those are shorts on my channel if you want to learn more about how I started all these seeds. But that's exciting. And again, it's just getting ramped up. This is not really the calm before the storm. This is like all the activity before the storm. Once we get going with this, we get going until the end of growing season. It's really exciting. You'll see as much work as it is. There's nothing else I'd rather be doing. I love doing this in all my free time. And it's just every year, it's so exciting. So I'm really glad it's March, and let's get into all the other things that we've been doing this month. So we're here in our front garden beds, and which are, I'd say, maybe 95% native, but all perennials. And then we're only going to be adding native perennial plants to these beds from now on. But there's already so much coming up. March in the South is when things really kick off, like I've been saying. So I'm excited to show you a few things that are starting to come up. And then, you know, as it gets going, probably like peak summer, June or July, we'll do another tour and you can see everything blooming and all the other plants that we will have added in. So that's really exciting. One of the ones I'm really excited about is the early spring bloom that we planted really late last spring when it was super hot and I didn't know if they survived, is this beautiful native phlox, which is Phlox. And you can get all different varieties, but we made sure that these are native ones, and I can figure out the species name and put that in the description because I don't know off the top of my head, but it's so happy and pretty and it's going to spread really well. It's a beautiful ground cover. And then over here, just coming up, which has multiplied a lot since last fall, these are all narrow leaf sunflower, which is a native sunflower here in the south, and it blooms in the fall. So really beautiful way to add a pop of color in the late season and something to look forward to. And then over here, I'm really excited to see when these come up. I just think they grow really cool. They remind me of asparagus, and I actually want to look and see if they're related because I feel like they might be. This is Baptisia, or quote unquote wild false indigo. Also a beautiful native, bright colored, bushy flowering perennial, good for pollinators. And we have a few of those coming up in these beds. And again, it's just really exciting. We've made it to the backyard where most of the veggies and annual plants, even some perennial vegetables, are growing. And again, lots already happening. So I'm going to show you some of those plants that are coming up now, things that might be ready to harvest soon, and all to look forward to in the next month or so. First one are these peas here on my beautiful makeshift free bamboo trellis that I've reused for years now. So these are my favorite kind of pea, which is snow pea. And those were planted, I want to say just 3 weeks ago, and they're doing great. And I'm really excited to have those fresh peas in maybe a month. Here we are at the kiddie pool, which I showed being planted in my February garden tour video, where it's my first exciting planting day of the year. I think it was mid-February. And I did this half of the pool. So we have the lettuce coming up, really happy since it's not been too warm lately. The first succession of that, a little spotty, but coming in good. And then all this is another succession of French breakfast radish I'm really excited about. Those are coming up great. I will plant this empty area as a third succession probably this coming week. So radish is coming along, but those are going to be fresh any day now, actually. So that will be yummy. This is a really exciting spot, especially at this time in spring. And this is the strawberry bed, if I could get it open. The strawberry bed, it goes from here all the way over there, and I have to cover it because, as you'll learn later in the video, we have a deer problem here, and they love strawberry leaves. But this is so exciting. These were planted as bare root crowns just a little over a year ago, and they are all going to fruit in the next month or so, and it's going to be amazing. So we have all these beautiful flowers getting ready to turn into yummy, delicious strawberries in the coming months and more. These are an ever-bearing variety, and again, I will put the specific variety that is great for my southern climate. I'll put that in the description because I can't remember right now. But just look at all this potential. I'm sure in the April garden tour, there's going to be a lot more to show you, including yummy, delicious harvests of fresh, bright, juicy strawberries that probably won't make it from here to the house. My dog will eat them all, I think. This is the beautiful broccoli and Romanesco patch that is so happy, so healthy. And this, again, these were planted in the February garden video that you can learn more about how I did that and when and why. I'll link that video as well here. But these are all broccoli plants, not pants. Right now, they're thriving. Now, the test is going to be what kind of spring we have here in North Carolina. I've only ever done fall broccoli and brassica crops, and those do amazing because we have mild winters. My fear is that it's going to get too warm too soon for these. Once they start forming a head, they might just bolt right away. But we will see, fingers crossed, because I would love to have, 20 fresh crowns of broccoli come April. And then over here is half broccoli, half Romanesco. Again, and I've said this before, I think, spring is going to be a little too warm for the Romanesco. It needs 100 days to mature, but I couldn't help myself. It's all an experiment, and if I get some of that, it will be a wonderful surprise. Now, look at this. How exciting are these two beds? You'll never guess what was planted here. It was potatoes. We planted potatoes here just about 2 or 3 weeks ago. So there's not much to see, but it is exciting as always with potatoes. There's one little guy coming up at least here. The rest are weeds. I have looked this one lone carrot that came up, so that's exciting. But yeah, potatoes. The plan for these beds, I got varieties that aren't going to take as long as maybe some other varieties of potatoes. We have red, gold, and Kennebec potatoes, and those are 60 to 80 days. So I'm hoping I planted them in time that they're going to mature. We can harvest them out before I get my winter squash in these beds in like mid-May, probably more beginning of June, and just keep on growing one after the other. Stay tuned for potatoes. This is what's left of our second giant pile of mulch that we got delivered in March. The first one got delivered in February, of 5 cubic yards each time. So I think originally the pile was up to about here. I feel like it was roughly the size of my Prius for each pile. 5 cubic yards. Your girl is tired, but we got a lot of mulching done, and I will show you some of the spaces we did, and you'll get a sense for how much work this was. And this is the second year doing all this mulch because grass is the worst. March was really kind of mulch madness around here, and so this was the biggest project to get all of these paths, the whole perimeter of the veg garden mulched from the pile, which is all the way over there, and bring in about, I don't know, 60 to 75 wheelbarrow loads of mulch back here to get all of the paths between the beds done with a really thick layer, because my hope is to get the weeds much more under control this year. I'm not going to have as much access to bring mulch back here, and I just would love to not ever mulch again. I don't think it's ever going to happen, but this was all the mulching I got done really over the span of a good month or more. A giant, beautiful pile of hot, steamy goodness. And now we're going to share with you that big, exciting, expensive, difficult, most challenging, annoying, all the things project that we just finished. You probably noticed in this video already. That's this deer fence. And I'm going to show you who helped make it possible. My volunteer, my free labor, my partner in crime, build all the things, ride or die, do what I say when I have a project because you have the truck person. Okay.
That's me.
This is Nate. He's my partner. We live here. This is our garden. Most of you watching are probably friends and family, so you know him. That's the kind of YouTube channel we got going on right now. Anything you want to say?
I'm excited that it's built and it's done.
The fence is done. Yeah, I was telling someone today
I can have my weekends back.
I know. Yeah, so it ended up taking 3 weekends over a span. We work full time, so that helps. This is a Deer Busters fence, a DIY at-home kit. To be fair, it does like include everything or almost everything. They forgot to send us one thing. I don't want this necessarily to go into like a rant about the problems with this fence or a review. If you have questions about Deer Busters, I'm happy to share our experience. It wasn't great, but it's done, you know? Yeah, so it took a total of I think 20 to 30 hours of labor to get this thing up. And it's like as perfect as it can be. It should last, hopefully, at least 10 years. It's supposed to last 15 to 20. What else do you want to say about that? What was the worst part?
I don't know.
The sledgehammering.
It all sucked.
We had to sledgehammer like
Yeah,
20 sleeves in the ground for all the poles, like 36 inches. That's 3 feet into the ground where we're in the Piedmont. So there's literally Piedmont clay that you hit about 18 inches down and it's just like cement. It's just super hard.
I think it was the roots that really did it in.
We do have some
Some
tree
of
roots
them were really hard.
Yeah.
Some of them went in easy, some of them were a battle.
But then the corner posts, we had to dig in with the fence.
That just took time.
That took forever. I used muscles I never used before and hope to never use again. How much pain were you in?
I didn't have much soreness.
You were in pain.
The corner post I was a bit sore on, but sledgehammering didn't really.
No.
Maybe a little bit.
My back muscles really hurt. Obviously, we had to put this up because we have a deer problem. Everywhere I've lived, I've always had to deal with deer. They ate my aloe plant one time. I mean, they're just obnoxious. I respect them. They're beautiful and majestic under the right circumstances, but when they...
She's a vegetarian, they're vegetarian.
Yeah. You love the way deer taste.
I shoot them because they're delicious.
Yeah, so that's good. Okay, so, but we went away on vacation last summer and we came back and everything in this garden, all the strawberries, the asparagus, like any possible thing they could browse, they ate. We had no plants left. And I just can't do that again. So this was a calculated investment in the garden, in having abundant harvest, in my mental health, and in your frustration level of me being happy or not, right? When I come in and rant about the deer all day long. So the weeds are going to be a never-ending battle, but hopefully the deer, we're done fighting, and I feel secure in knowing that what I grow has one less challenge. So I feel like I'm going to get the harvest that I'm hoping for.
You've eliminated one pest.
A big pest. They were eating everything.
Yeah.
Everything, guys. Oh, man. So anyway, I'm trying to bust those deer. It just needs to be tested. And if there's a deer ever in this fence or evidence there's been a deer, someone is going to pay. That's all I got to say. There's no deer. I mean, they're not supposed to, this is 8 feet tall. They shouldn't be able to jump this high in theory. But I don't know. I'm hoping it survives our hurricanes, our crazy weather, all the critters, the UV. Do you really want to keep your shirt like that?
They're not going to notice.
Okay. Who did or didn't notice how crooked Nate's shirt is right now? This is how he feels after doing the deer fence. So yeah, we're tired. And
we want a day off. Yeah,
it would be nice. But here's the problem. It's March. It's madness. It's begun. Summer garden season is happening, and there's not going to be any rest until December. I'll link this in the description so you can see what we got. It was about $2,000, which for us, that's a lot to put into anything, but especially a garden when we try to keep things really accessible and low cost to free. Because like, why else do you garden? I don't think it should be expensive, but this was on purpose. It was necessary. And I think time will tell if we like recommend this per se or not. I have, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I have more thoughts on why I chose this. I mean, a year or so of research and thought went into why I picked this fence as the best option I could find. That's kind of the long story short version. That's the...
Well, you balanced price, ability of doing it on your own.
Logistics.
Yeah.
And what's actually going to work, because 6 feet, not tall enough. 7 feet, not quite tall enough. You need an 8-foot fence. So
yeah.
This was something we could do ourselves without spending thousands of more dollars.
Yeah.
And it is made to last. I mean, the material, I think, is not that bad. So time will tell. We hope that your March has been not too mad, but full of goodness, just like we've enjoyed doing all of this stuff. As hard as it is, we love being outside in the garden, getting fresh air, and the warmer weather every day coming. So hopefully your growing season is also off to a wonderful start, or will be soon. Maybe we'll get some of those April showers we desperately need here in the South. It's been so dry. And in the meantime, take good care. We'll see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. We always appreciate your time.
And like and subscribe.
There you go.
This is also Sadie's jail. When she eats too much deer poop, we just lock her in this because hopefully it doesn't have deer poop in it.
Off you go. Bye, Sadie. I'm not going to use that.
That's a late, because there's no deer poop in it.
Why are we going to talk about a dog eating deer poop? I don't know.